Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Hey guys, this is Tiffany H. Lewis. Welcome to Your Awakening. All right. I've spoken to you about what is an awakening, why I'm here, why you're here, and actually I haven't really touched on that yet. So I'm here because I'm a starseed. Literally, out of all the people on Earth right now, which Earth is the only planet that has free will and also a place where we can inhabit a human body and experience it as a human being using all five of our senses. And then when you awaken, by the way, you're going to have way more than five senses. And yes, my phone falls all the time, and yes, things fly across the room all the time, but you know what, just try to ignore it. So history is being deleted. It doesn't any longer exist as far as research goes. So all we have left to learn from are me and a few other people. And that is, I don't know. I don't know how convincing that is. If you take away our right to teach you literally historical events that actually happened and then tell us that they didn't happen, what would you do? Now add a little piece to that. If I told you that 2 and 2 equaled 5 instead of 2 and 2 equaled 4, and I'm holding you at gunpoint, which would you agree with? That's the key right there. You now, unfortunately, have to weigh consequence. If all history is being removed and every single channel is being banned, shut down, and permanently deleted, and there's just a few of us, just literally less than 5 people on the actual platform that I'm posting this on, that are here to help you awaken as well, who have not been shut down yet or have already been shut down and came back. And now we all have to be so vague, it's ridiculous. So I hate that. But somewhere in this video, I'm going to post a link to one of my other pages so that you can learn more. And again, as always, I apologize. I'm going to have to be vague. This sucks for me more than it does for you. I promise. I hate that I can't just like tell you. All right. Spiritual awakening. I've explained what that was. I'm here as a starseed, and all of us that are awakened right this second in life, we are the first to awaken. Why are we awakening first? Well, because we're the ones who literally kind of have this soul contract thing that we agreed to do. You guys cried and prayed and begged for us to come here to Earth and make it stop. Make it stop hurting. Make people stop killing each other. No more murder. No more crime. We want peace. Some of you guys have really amazing hearts, and we heard your cries. And yeah, that hurts. So we voluntarily chose to come here to Earth in literal human form, being able to die like every other human, living like every single other human on Earth, and knowing everything you know, going to the same institutions, learning everything that you learn in school. And now we're all right here right now in July of 2019 going, I mean, you forced me to go to an institution of school, but now you're telling me that everything that I was forced to learn in the institution of educational systems as a child up to at least 12th grade, graduate high school, and some of us even went on to get a degree or 2 or 3 because we love learning so much, but that's not relevant. The relevant piece is everything that you think you know about the entire world, everything you were taught in any sort of institution, including school, everything you think you know about literally everything. Not only is it wrong and backwards, and also upside down on top of that, but guys, that if you could just take any literal word, situation, time, flip it to the exact opposite, and that's the truth. By the way, I know my camera keeps falling, and yes, I know that objects fly across the room. Whatever. It doesn't bother me anymore. I'm not a type of person who fears kind of, you know, little distractions that try to prevent me from giving you this message. So, but since I did make this agreement to come down here to Earth, I was not allowed to bring my memories with me. So I came to Earth voluntarily because all of you were like crying and begging and pleading for someone to come help us, come save us, come fix this. This has to stop. Like, this is crazy. We can't live like this anymore, right? And we did. We came here. Now, I've talked about the fact that we chose the most abusive parents because certain events have to happen at certain times in our lives to literally create our breaking point. Some people have awakened years ago. Some people have awakened weeks ago. Some of you aren't even awakened yet, but the fact that you're watching this video, you're going to. Also, that makes you in the first wave of us, which means you are a starseed as well, which means you also made some sort of a contract with, and I don't get to put any words with that. It's not like a person or a place or a thing or an entity or a star system or a solar system or a certain planet. Star seeds are basically, you know, a seed. You can plant a seed anywhere. But we came here knowing that we were not allowed to remember anything whatsoever about any of our past or past lives. Plural, singular and plural. And then after being exposed to enough abuse, as we get a little bit older, I don't know, I've seen starseeds that are teenagers and I'm like, wow, good, like really happy for them that they figured it out. It took me 40 years and that sucks. But I'm hard-headed and stubborn, so, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less. But that aside, so people that are awakening, our literal job on this earth is to remember. Remember where we came from. Remember why we chose to come here. We came here to help you. You guys cried out to us, and we came here to help you. Help you remember who you are. Where you come from. Some people might even say what you are. Doesn't even matter. I don't do labels, but if you like labels, go ahead and put a label on yourself. I'm going to break it down for you piece by piece by piece, in hopes that this video and this channel does not get shut down for even talking about this, which the chances of that happening are like at about 99%. They're going to literally shut me down and prevent me from being able to share the truth with you. All right, starseeds, if you're still watching, you're a starseed. You know that you're about to awaken when these things happen. Number one, you're cool one day, all of a sudden you get sick. Doctors can't figure it out, and I'm serious. This is like a year-long process of you being sick. You could have cancer one second and a heart attack the next second, or a stroke the next second. People around you start dying. Suicides are kind of a big piece of, I don't know why. I guess for me personally, maybe seeing enough suicides sort of helped me to crack open my brain and try to understand why is this happening. But it doesn't matter. The key is repetition. So repeatedly, you will undergo this process of awakening, which includes but is not limited to, you're going to be in bed sick for whatever. You're going to see 100 doctors. They're going to give you 100 separate diagnoses or diagnoses. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm kind of a grammar perfectionist. Oh well, whatever. It doesn't matter which doctor you go to. There's seemingly no cause. You are a healthy human being who was just fine yesterday. And then today, you wake up and you are dying. One day it's cancer, the next day it's lupus, the next day it's, I don't know, whatever they pin it on. Low white blood cell count. It does not matter. No one will ever give you the same consistent answer. You will seek out many doctors, and every single doctor says pretty much, I don't know. It's probably going to get labeled as something really super vague, like fibromyalgia. Some of the symptoms are nausea, vomiting, tummy issues, which obviously create, digestion issues, headache that will not go away. And I don't just mean headache. I mean the worst migraine you've ever had in your entire life that persistently does not let up for months and months and months. Everything that you used to like, you can't stand it anymore. Even for me, literally coffee. I used to love coffee. I can't stand it. You even bring the word coffee into my world and I throw up. Okay, so let's go a little bit deeper and keep going on these symptoms. You're going to have a fever. You're going to have chills. And sometimes you're going to think that you're going crazy, like you feel like you're detoxing, but you know that you haven't taken anything or done anything. And again, these doctors are going to try to treat these symptoms of what is eventually only going to turn out to be an awakening process. However, you must go through this process fully and completely in order to die or morph. A metamorphosis must happen for you to turn into a butterfly. And without getting too far into that, a butterfly is another kind of keyword for, the supposed Illuminati monarch butterflies. So it's kind of interesting that goes there too. But let's see what else. Me personally, I just woke up one day and I was sick. That's it. I was just sick. I was given 5 days to live. I died. I had a heart attack. Not long after that, I was sick again. I had this, I had that, I had this, I had that. They had so many medications because nobody knew what in the world was going on with me. I had organ failure. I mean, literally, how much more vague could you be? Okay, doc, so I have organ failure? Well, which organ? So what do you want me to do about it? Make a will. And y'all may think that I'm kidding right now, but I assure you I am not. So almost a year later, 9-10 months later, I have a second heart attack and I die again. This time though, I remember it. I don't remember what happened during that few minutes that I died. I just know that when I woke up, I knew that I had died. I saw myself having sort of an out-of-body experience, looking down at my own body. And I woke up, and the next day, I was paralyzed, literally. I lost my vision. Everything made me sick. I lost 30 pounds in a month. Everything I tried to eat or drink tasted like metal or copper or some... I mean, I hated everything. Everything that I've loved my entire life, to include playing guitar and listening to music or watching TV, nope, haven't done it since. It became a thing to this day. It remains a thing. I can be sitting in a room quietly because I don't like noise and I don't like sound. And you're going to experience the same thing. You're not going to like food. You're not going to want to drink anything, not even water. It's like you just wake up one day and you are just paralyzed. You have changed, but you don't even realize it. Then you begin these new sequences of symptoms that then again, you go back to the doctor and they start treating you for those symptoms. Almost every single doctor on this planet is going to tell you that you are depressed and put you on antidepressants. Why? Because if you look at depression, it is what? Losing interest in all things, sleeping all day, not wanting to get out of bed, like having no desire to do anything, loss of appetite, sudden weight gain, sudden weight loss, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, it matches with depression. But I want to tell you something about being depressed. When you take that word, depressed, and you look at it from my point of view, deep rest. Now, I do that with a lot of words. You guys are going to catch on extremely quickly. I can take any word and break it apart, and it blows my mind that, like, why didn't I think of that before? Why did I just take someone's word for it? I fought the institution of education. I knew something wasn't right. I knew I had a higher purpose. So right now, even to this day, through me awakening, I am completely aware of the fact that I came here to help you awaken. Because when a bunch of us awaken at one time, this thing happens. And this thing, again, I always have to be careful what I say and how I say it. So let's just compare this thing to the Salem Witch trials. What happened during that time was this book came out, and you've got a bunch of little children that lied about something that never actually happened. However, since this book came out that says this is how you can identify a witch's teat, which is a literal birthmark or a mole. Yep. So they put women out there and inspected their bodies and said, oh my, she has a mole. She's a witch. Burn her. Hang her. Hang her, then put her in the water and see if she comes back. And if she comes back, then she's a witch. Wow. All right. What else happened during that time? I don't even know if you're going to be able to find this historically online, so I guess you're just going to have to take my word for it. What happened was that book created chaos all over Earth, everywhere. And all of a sudden, everybody was getting killed for being a witch. I mean, I can't find one example ever in history where one of the witches actually, came back to life in the water after you hung them. And did you know that if you hang somebody, it takes about almost 13 minutes to die? Yeah. It sucks. It could be anywhere from 2 to 14 minutes before that person is literally dead. Then they drop them in water as like an extra precautious measure. But you'll never hear of a case. God, I hate that I have to say this. You won't even hear of a case of anything. So you're literally going to have to take my word for it. Anyway, what happened was a bunch of children were playing around in Salem, Massachusetts. And this is where we get the term the Salem Witch trials. A bunch of kids were sort of playing around or joking around, and then I guess somebody suggested this or did that, and then somebody tattled. They were children, little children. So somebody tattled on somebody, and then this book came out at the exact same time. And then during that time that the book came out, people were living a pilgrimage lifestyle, like, you know, living on land, and they built their own houses and all of that stuff. So there was no real currency. I mean, there may have been, but there's no proof of it. So people became very paranoid because this book came out that said, if you are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, you are a witch. You will be tried and hung. Now, if you just confess that you're a witch, we'll consider leniency on you. We'll spare you what, hanging? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a lot of people were murdered. Not one witch floated out of the water alive after hanging at least overnight and then thrown in the water. Not one witch ever surfaced. So that is called mass hysteria. Mass hysteria is when in this situation, a whole planet of people are so scared to death of being called a witch and so scared to death that if they have a mole or a birthmark, their body is subjected to being completely searched, fully nakedly searched. Then they throw them in a rotting underground dirt place, sort of like a prison, but way worse. There is no food, there's no water. There are babies there, there are breastfeeding mothers there. Men, women, everybody. They're all thrown into separate holes wherever they lived based on wherever they are. And, they call it the Salem Witch trials because that's sort of the biggest incident that actually created the term mass hysteria. Mass hysteria is where we all believe the same thing at the same time, and everybody gets paranoid because they don't want to die. So in these cases, you will find people that literally confess to crimes that they did not commit. Now, if you watch something on the History Channel and you hear like a random person today say, oh no, I would never, ever, ever plead guilty to something that I didn't do, okay, well, they're lying. And they've never been put in that situation. So until they're facing that, they do not have the right to say, I would never plead guilty to something I did not do. To spare myself and or husband, children, wife, whatever, the pain and the agony. And then there are others who will testify to their very last seconds alive that they are not that. I mean, for real. Cruel and unusual punishment was one of the repercussions of mass hysteria because of Salem Witch trials. Did I tell you those little kids lied? Yeah. They're just like, all started acting crazy. Like, it's laughable. I mean, seriously laughable. Historically, they were super duper Christians. I can't really put my finger on what they considered their type of Christianity to be, but it doesn't matter. God-fearing, super religious. And then it started with one child, and it led to multiple children, like, I don't know, 5 or 6. And all of them at the same time. One would be like, she's a witch, she's coming for me, she's going to scare me. I'm seeing her like as a ghost in my dreams. And by that alone, from a child, a little child said that. And then others followed that little child's lead. And so every time, what they did was they created and manifested a situation where they all screamed at the same time. And they all said that so-and-so's, ghostly spirit was here with them. And they freaked out. They would convulse and all this stuff for a long, long time. So that's the Salem Witch Trials. It's important that you know that, because it's a piece of history that might not be available to you sometime extremely soon, if it's not already gone. And that is mass hysteria. Mass hysteria is an important part of the awakening process, because this is, like I keep saying, the very first time in the history of Earth where, sort of like mass hysteria, this is the very first mass awakening. That means literally half of every single person living on this earth with you and I right now are going to awaken, and not just awaken, but we are here as starseeds to literally help everyone else awaken. That's our job. That's our honor, that is our privilege, and we chose to come here and be sexually assaulted by age 5, which, by the way, is called the vasovagal process. Check that out if you want, because I don't want to get shut down on YouTube, so check it out if you want, and good luck finding a video on it, but we'll get into that another time. And then certain events that all lined up time and time again. You're going to see repetition. You're going to hear me use the word repetition a lot, because the key to waking up and the key to understanding how they convince us that this stuff is real and then turn around and say 2 + 2 = 5, it's repetition. So, number 2, episode 2. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I will be right back with episode 3 of Your Awakening. This is Tiffany H. Lewis. Please like, follow, subscribe, and stay tuned. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe, and go ahead and hit that notification button to stay tuned. And I'll see you guys next time for Your Awakening.